Welcome back to more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Last time we started the Shadow Temple, which is full of tricks and all sorts of other nasty things. So, let's see what we're dealing with. Gibdos! Very fun. Just means we gotta play the Sun Song. Now, otherwise, too, speaking of last time, we managed to find the hover boots, which are extremely useful in the fact that they allow you to hover over short distances in the air. They're super nice, but as you might be able to tell with me moving around, they provide no traction whatsoever. So, moving around becomes a bit more of a chore than it probably should be. But it's all good. 5 whole rubies! Very nice. I want to say the actual treasure chest in here. Yes. Remember in the well when we bombed these weird-looking piles of bodies? Well, turns out, the same trick works here. And it hides keys. Very useful. So let's see what's through this door. Oh. Oh, it's a big old boat, huh? Seems pretty cool. If you remember, this is where we dropped down and we're blocked by this big block. So, it's somewhat of a big shortcut, which is kind of cool. And otherwise, I want to say we actually need this block, yeah, to climb up that ladder. Now, should you, for some reason, not finish moving this block, leave the room, come back, and think you opened up the secret, or well, shortcut, not secret, you're going to be in for a bit of disappointment. The block will move right back. So make sure you push it into the hole there. It'll save you a lot of headache later. And if you see Navi kind of freaking out a little, that's an indication we need to play the Scarecrow's song. I want to say, yeah, right about here. So pull out our ocarina. Input the Konami code, or in our case, the Scarecrow code. And, yeah, I know sometimes he's a little finicky here as well. But that's kind of been his whole thing. He's been finicky throughout the whole game. Try it here. And worst case, we might just need to be up here in order to call him. Maybe like from here or so? No, not quite. Perhaps more over this way? Yeah, because Navi is way over there. There we go. So yeah, sometimes where you can actually call him from is a little weird. But hey, it works all the same. Grab some hearts. Get rid of a golden skulltula if you can actually hit him. A nice little, well, I would say backflip, but frankly, it's going to be easier just grab it with the hook shot. Grab another golden skulltula. Very nice. And I think that leaves only one left for us to find in here, which is pretty darn good, all things considered. But it's time for one of my favorite parts of this whole temple, riding the big boat. Wouldn't you know, we need to play Zelda's Lullaby to activate it. Which, has some implications for the fact that the royal family used this at one point. Kind of some food for thought, huh? And with our lovely boat moving, we get to enjoy a nice ride down the river. At least, that's what I would like to say, but no, they've got plenty of Starfox for us to deal with in the meanwhile. Come on, pal. There we go. And don't worry, they've got plenty more where the first one came from. There we go. Nothing too difficult. Is there a third? Or is it just the two? I'd be okay if it's just the two. I like hearing the little bells chime as we ride the boat. It's quite peaceful, to be honest. You're in a horrible, desecrated, empty temple kind of way. But, I think we'll hop off. And I want to say, yeah, Link, the ship is sinking. Abandoned ship. Get onto that platform. Or something like that. To be honest, I didn't read the end of it before she, finished speaking. Still, it was like I was going to say, Navi will tell you to get off of the ship because, it's sinking. Still, this means there's no way but forward. Oh. Well, this room looks rather simple, but it's actually a maze. I think this is a really cool use of the lens of truth here, making a reverse maze with it. Kind of unique, all things considered. Hey. Really? There we go. Uh-oh. Gotta turn the lens of truth off to get our big spin attack. That's the one downside to it. That while it is really nice, it does use the magic meter, which unfortunately means we can't do our magic spin attack. Again, I think it's an interesting trade-off / downside. True vision for lower offense. Oh boy. I see. Again, another great example of enemies being invisible. This is where we'll just have to rely on the lens of truth here. Still, nothing too difficult. Ooh. And we get rewarded for our trouble. Very nice. Let me guess. Small key? 5 rupees? That seems to be what they like giving us. Hey, small key. Very useful. Otherwise, any hearts? Yes, actually. Cool. Now, one thing I will point out. After the water temple, I feel like they get really stingy with giving you fairies and especially healing. So, you can't go relying completely on the game giving you handouts like they used to in the earlier dungeons. Which, to be fair, I think is not a bad thing. By this point, you should have so many heart containers and bottles that you really should be carrying around a plethora of healing and other useful items like that. Oh. Wow. This seems to be a similar room to the one we saw before. My guess is we'll have to toss a bomb into each of the heads. Now, luckily, they are nice enough to give us bomb flowers here, too, which is very nice. So, oh, I barely didn't get it in. Also, I think I heard a Skulltula. Let's take a look around the room here. Oh, he's probably below me, isn't he? Yeah, that's probably what it is. Well, in the meanwhile, grab bomb flower. Give it a nice little chuck. Miss barely again. Very good. Oh, I keep messing it up. The hover boots, while they are nice, are somewhat annoying to deal with. There we go. Banked it in. And apparently that was the wrong skull. There we go. I think I got that one in. Very nice. It apparently was the right one. For the keys? Sure. If I could hit him, that would be lovely game, but I guess not. This is really why you should use the bow for them. But I'm stingy and don't want to use my arrows. Otherwise, I see a nice little golden Skulltula, and I believe he's the last one for this temple, which is very nice. Otherwise, up the stairs we go. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we gotta just get rid of that last skull. Let's see. Uh-oh. Get rid of that. I was gonna try to throw it midair, but I got a little too greedy. Still not a bad attempt. Whoops. Thank you, camera. Love you. There we go. No camera troubles here. Grab another bomb flower. Oh, and you're actually lined up very nice. Oh, and we got it in. Beautiful. There we are. And wow, all sorts of money that we don't need. I mean, cool if you needed money, I guess. But, we really don't. So, bit of a waste, but a cool spectacle nonetheless. Kind of like fireworks, almost. So, I think it was worth our time. Otherwise... Ooh, excuse me there, friend. I say friend like I'm not about to murder your offspring the minute you die. But, you get the idea. Go in this room. And I think this is the last one we need to look at, isn't it? Huh. This is, somewhat terrifying. Now, luckily for us, we needed it to enter, and we'll use it again here to burn away the wooden walls. I think that's a really cool use for Din's Fire. And, hello, Mr. Redead. Do some spin attacks and get rid of you. And, of course, we'll help ourselves to this little chest and get 5 rupees. Again, the game is kind of lousy with money. So, if you've been needing cash, well, I really don't know what you're spending it all on. But hey, we'll certainly take a boss key. Oh, baby, the boss key. Which begs the question, where would the boss be? This is, I think, pretty much the first temple where the actual area to get to the boss hasn't been immediately obvious. I want to say the Fire Temple, I mean, you see it almost immediately with Darunia. The Forest Temple, you see the elevator go away, and it's in the central room. And then in the Water Temple, it's right across from where you first enter. So, this has been the first temple that isn't immediately obvious where it is, which is kind of interesting. I want to say what we need to do is see the patch of bomb flowers over there? Let's put that there and put the bow here. Let's shoot them. That'll knock this tower down, almost hitting us, which wouldn't be very fun, but it'll let us get across. Wow, nothing in there. Bit stingy, but sure. It's like I was saying earlier, the game isn't really going to hold your hands anymore. But they'll still be sure to give you refills and items where you do need them, so that much is nice. Is this a time block? It's the only thing I could imagine. Or maybe something invisible? Could be. Nope. Block of time. I do find it interesting how often and inoften they use these. Sometimes, you use a ton of them. Other times, well, you wouldn't even know it's a mechanic in the game. Kind of like the Scarecrow's song. We've used this generally, what, maybe once a temple at most? And now we've used it twice here. I guess they're just making up for lost time because we didn't use it once in the Water Temple, I think. Whereas we used it one time in the Fire and one time in the Forest Temple. So it evens out, still at a solid, technically, 1 Scarecrow per temple. And I have a feeling I'm still going to want that Lens of Truth. We've kind of only used it for the entire dungeon so far. Oh. Yep. Lens of Truth. Good call. Ooh, I'm getting risky. Paid off. And, I guess to the boss we go. Which, uh-oh. Quite the introduction. Welcome to the Phantom Shadow Beast, Bongo Bongo. Every game's gotta have one. It's the hand boss. So, with them, shoot the hands with the bow, and I believe it's only when the palm is open? Like that. And then you can reveal the actual boss. Which Navi?
Bongo Bongo, boss of the Shadow Temple, revived from the well. Look at it with the eye of truth.
And she's certainly right. Now sometimes, getting this guy can be a little tricky because of how the targeting works. Now if you've got good rhythm, you should be able to deal with him fairly decently, because if you notice, some hands are easier than others to hit. There we go. Get them big jump attacks. That'll really speed up this fight. So generally, I like to go for the hand that has the quick rhythm, and then you go for the hand with the slow rhythm. That'll save you a lot of time. Otherwise, in with jump attacks, and the fight will be over before you know it. So there's our quick hand. Here's the slow hand. Turn on Lens of Truth. Shoot Bongo Bongo. That's all she wrote. Now, one thing I do want to talk about for just a minute is this boss's design, seeing as we can see it so clearly. It should be pretty evident what he is. His head, quote unquote, is a severed neck that was evidently beheaded, and his hands were cut off, maybe for some crime such as stealing, like they used to do in the ancient times. He kind of is the huge manifestation and representation of every terrible thing Hyrule had happen, and probably what was done to criminals. So I think it's safe to say that the Shadow Temple was probably some sort of mass prison or torture chamber, or maybe a bit of both, for criminals in Hyrule. Like they said, this place has Hyrule's bloody history. So, let's get out of here, shall we? Oh hey, Impa. Been a long while since we've seen you.
The boy with the noble Zelda's ocarina. As I expected, you have come. I am Impa, one of the Sheikah. I am Princess Zelda's caretaker, and I am also the sage who guards the Shadow Temple. We Sheikah have served the royalty of Hyrule from generation to generation as attendants. However, on that day 7 years ago, Ganondorf suddenly attacked, and Hyrule Castle surrendered after a short time. Ganondorf's target was one of the keys to the Sacred Realm, the hidden treasure of the royal family, the Ocarina of Time. My duty bound me to take Zelda out of Ganondorf's reach. When last I saw you, as we made our escape from the castle, you were just a lad. Now I see that you have become a fine hero. There's nothing to worry about. The princess is safe now. Soon, you'll meet Princess Zelda face to face, and she will explain everything. That is when we, the 6 wise ones, will seal up the evil king and return peace to Hyrule. I have to stay here. You go to Princess Zelda's side and protect her on my behalf. Now, I put my power, which should be helpful to you, into this medallion.
You receive the Shadow Medallion. Impa awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours.
Please look out for the princess.
We certainly will. And now notably, with not only the position of the song, but the medallion as well, this alludes to the fact that technically the Shadow Temple is supposed to be the 5th one you go to. Technically speaking, we skipped the Spirit Temple, which should have been 4th. It's kind of like how after you do the Forest Temple, you can do either the Water or Fire Temple first, which, honestly, I think is really cool. Still, for whatever reason, I've always done the Shadow Temple before I've done the Spirit one. It just felt natural. And I think even a lot of guides out there usually point you toward here before they ever do the Spirit Temple, which is interesting, but for good reason. In order to actually get to the Spirit Temple, you're going to need the Lens of Truth, or at least you really want it, because there's an entire section where you're going to need to follow something invisible. So, obviously, if you don't know the game, you're going to need this, which normally you get it when entering the Shadow Temple. So it makes sense. But if you remember what I said earlier about how technically you can get the Lens of Truth as soon as you can re-become a child, you could technically go to the Gerudo Desert first, which would be pretty interesting. And, like I've mentioned before, it's something I like actually doing because one of my favorite items in the game is there, and it's not even from the temple. So, it really pained me to play the game mostly sequentially. I know I got the iron boots out of order, but you get the idea. I did it so that way it would help us. Otherwise, at this point, I really don't want to have these hover shoes on anymore. They're a bit of a drag. Still, now that we've done that, we're not missing too many things. We've come a pretty darn long way. And well, at this point, we're desert bound. So, let's make our way to Gerudo Desert. We've been there a couple times in our journey, though as a child. Sure, we went there at, a whole one time as adult Link to get Viggoron's sword, but past that, we've not actually done much there. Though, from our first visit, we do know that apparently the Carpenters are there and they ran off for some reason or another. We'll, probably refresh ourselves once we get back there. But for now, come on, Epona, let's ride, gal. It's been far too long. I really do like Epona in this game, but man, she's pretty underutilized. I mean, seriously, most of the game takes place around Kakariko, all things considered. Both the Fire Temples are there, the Shadow Temple is there, some of the mini-games are there, the biggest trading quest brings you there, the mask trading quest brings you there. A lot of the game is spent around Kakariko. And sure, I think you go to Lake Hylia a total of technically twice if you go and get the message from Rudo and then you grab, do the Water Temple. And then what? Forest you go to about a total of 2 times because you start the game there and then you return as an adult. And then the castle, I mean, you go there constantly. But still, most of the game takes place in the top right corner of the map, which is kind of interesting. This is one of the few exceptions. Still, welcome back to Gerudo Valley, and I know it is a grave sin that I'm here and it is, nighttime. I'll be sure to fix that in just a moment. So yield, Epona, and down we go. Let's make it daytime so we can get some of that good music, shall we? There we go.
Hey, you! If you're going to the fortress, would you mind finding out what my workers are doing over there?
Sure. And you know, Although I love the song and I would like to listen to it, I just realized there are Skulltulas here that we need. So, my apologies, song, and everyone who wanted to listen to it. We need those sweet, sweet Skulltula tokens. So, unfortunately, to nighttime it goes. I want to say, yep, behind the tent. Sneaky. Grab the hook shot. And grab a Skulltula token. Very nice. Otherwise, I think there's one more here, too. Navi, what do you need?
The desert. That's where Ganondorf, the evil king, was born. If we go there, we might find something.
You're actually quite correct. And in fact, that's why we're here now. Otherwise, I think there's another Skulltula, I think, over here somewhere? Oh, I hear him. Is he up? He is. Sneaky little bugger. There we go. Beautiful. You know, these rocks do look a little suspicious, but I don't think there's actually anything really there. There might be, but I can't remember. Otherwise, under the veil of night, let's sneak into the Gerudo Fortress, shall we? This is a rather interesting part of the game, where hopefully you know how to do some stealth. We've had a little bit of experience breaking into the castle, so a entire fortress guarded by highly trained female soldiers? Yeah, I'm sure we'll do just fine. So, let's take a look here. Well, we could just walk in the front door. I'm sure that would work marvelously. But let's see. Some guard over there. Ooh, and no one this way. Seems quite nice. Make sure we're not caught here. And in we go. Welcome to the Thieves' Hideout. This is where peeking around corners is going to really help you. No one seems to be here. Hey, you, young man, over there. Look, over here, inside the cell. Hey there. I have no idea where you come from, but you must have a lot of guts to make it past all the guards around here. I mean, I kind of just walked in, to be honest. All of my fellow carpenters are imprisoned somewhere in here. If you can get us out of here, we'll repay the favor somehow. But be careful. There are sure to be Gerudo guards somewhere around here. Whoa, watch out! And yep, sure enough, an ambush. Navi?
Gerudo thief, when she drops her guard, attack. If you don't defeat her, you'll be captured.
And that is quite true. You want to be careful with her. I want to say, regardless of your HP, after a certain amount of hits, you'll also be captured automatically. So, get rid of her like so, and you're good to go. She'll drop a small key, and you can help out one of our carpenter friends. Well, you're free to go.
Oh, did you come here to save me? Oh, that's just swell. I'm Ichiro, the carpenter. We were really interested in joining their all-female group, but they locked us up like this just 'cause we're men. We don't care about the Gerudo anymore. They're so rude. 3 of my fellows have also been captured, so please help them escape too.
Well, I mean, look, I'm certain many guys have had it in their heads that, maybe joining an all-female group would have its perks, but,
Well, it's probably all female for a reason, don't you think?
still, first carpenter down, and another entrance right here. Now, again, you want to be careful when sneaking around, because if you're spotted, you'll be arrested on the spot. Whoop, there's a guard. So you do actually have to be somewhat careful here. Now, what you should do is if you see a Gerudo guard, you can use your bow. And, if you hit her, you non-lethally paralyze her with an arrow. I don't look into the semantics of it. I don't question how it works. I just assume that Link is such a good shot that, somehow his arrows don't kill people when they need to not kill people. So, just go with it. Makes it a lot easier than asking questions, trust me. Still, with these two neutralized, interestingly, too, I don't know if you can actually look at them while they're down. Yeah, you can't. But I want to say, if you shoot, I want to say some of these masks or something, you can actually shoot them and they drop money, something like that. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe it's one of the skulls we saw earlier. It's not a big deal, it's just money, but it's still interesting. Let's see. Ooh, do you see what I see? A nice little golden skulltula. What a fine reward. Otherwise, let's see here. Doesn't appear to be much here, but there's a way we can jump across. So let's do it. Make sure no one's around. Again, nice and sneaky. And otherwise, it doesn't appear to be much up here. But there is a large chest, and should we summon our friend with our good old Konami code, Scarecrow Song, he'll help us across. Very useful. Thanks, pal. And what's in the box? Well, wouldn't you know it? It's the second of the last 4 pieces of heart. Very useful. Now, otherwise, I think next time we play The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, we'll continue breaking the carpenters out of the Gerudo Fortress here. As always, I'm Bread. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.